Republican operative Thomas Hofeller said, "I define redistricting as the only legalized form of vote stealing left in the United States today." He became the primary architect of Republicans' gerrymandering strategy, collecting data on race and voting behavior, then drawing statehouse maps tailor-made to dilute the influence of black voters. Groups like the Federalist Society have worked for years to pack the courts with judges more committed to appeasing powerful special interests than to championing the fundamental rights of the American people. The emboldening of white supremacists and conspiracy theorists during Trump's campaign and time in the White House, along with the international movement against liberal democracy, have exacerbated this perfect storm. So essentially, black people, you are not voting for voting rights. You're voting for nothing. You're voting because of gerrymandering, because of redistricting, because of voter suppression. Aren't those the things that your country, your government, the people you already put in office, shouldn't they be the ones taking care of that? Why do they need us to vote on a Voting Rights Act that has been in action since the 1800s? Black men have been voting since the 1840s or 50s. And now it's 2022. And now that we're really on our square talking about we want reparations, suddenly there's this big push, this big fear mongering. Because every year it's going to be something else. If it's not Trump, then it's voting rights. If it's not voting rights, then it's this, then it's that, then it's the boogeyman. Stop falling for the trick bag. These people are full of crap. They're full of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to find a way to allow immigrants to vote who are here and they are not even citizens. So let's go to and you know, the thing is too, why is it our job? Why is it always a black person's job to save the democracy? This country is not even fair to me as a black woman, a black Army veteran. So why is it my job to save the democracy? It's full of crap. I'm not saving shit. Like, you need to fix this country. The government needs to do their damn job and stop expecting black people to give up our vote. My voice is like, you're telling me what to fight for. You're telling me what to say. I have a vote. I'm an American citizen. I have fought for these rights as well as my ancestors and many other ancestors from my tribe. They fought for this for us to make it better. And then in 1965, it got better. And now we're here in 2022 about to fight for the same thing, right when we're on the cusp of reparations. Y'all can kiss my ass, Democrats. I will not be voting for you. And I'm not going to sit at home either. Guess what? I'm going to show my black ass up at the polls and I'm voting Republican. And then people can say, oh, well, they're not going to give us anything either. What's your point? Guess who I won't be voting for, though? The Democrats. And if you look at Republican policy, nobody cares to look at that. They're running off emotion. Oh, they don't like us. They said, this is business. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to win. And that room that I was in yesterday, it was desperation at its finest. Democrats were desperate for black people to vote for them. They kicked Marcel out the room. They didn't let anybody on the stage speak who was part of the grassroots reparations movement. They had a bunch of coons and bootlegs sitting up there saying people of color and attacking the only white woman who seemed to understand our plight. It was a farce. It was a complete effing joke. They had two people on there, Shawasaki, I don't know, some black guy with some Japanese name, and the other lady's named Natalie from Arkansas, this black woman running, and they were pushing them hard. And of course, neither one of them had a reparations policy anywhere on their platform that they're running on. 'Cause 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 So here you have the H.R. 4, the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Then you have the H.R. 1 for the People Act. Why am I voting for this? Like, what do I have to do with this? Isn't this something Congress needs to take care of? I will not be any parts of this. I won't be any parts of this. They need to do their jobs, pass this bill, and get it passed again through the Senate. Point blank, period. Because while the Republicans can try to make it harder to vote, they can't outright stop you from voting. And we're not in bondage. We can sue. We can do a lot of things for pushback. But they can't just outright stop black people from voting. Maybe this is why we should all move to the South. Just get white people away from us. But when I bring that up, oh, I want to stay near whitey. I want to stay where I'm at. Blah, 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 blah. I'm convinced they don't want to be free. I'm convinced a lot of black folks don't want to be free. So the For the People Act was introduced January 4th, 2021. And this bill addresses voter access, election integrity and security, campaign finances, and ethics for the 3 branches of government. Specifically, the bill expands voter registration, automatic and same-day registration, and voting access. It also limits removing voters from voter rolls. So why can't they put this on the ballot with reparations? I don't know. Because you need to fight for your voting rights, you can't fight for reparations at the same time? Or not fighting for voting rights, but expansion of voting rights? Because we already have voting rights. We are American citizens. Full-blooded American citizens. I don't need to fight for my voting rights. I'm fighting to keep politicians from being complete illegal treasonous A-hats and allowing us to vote without obstacle. And so that's that one. It makes it a little easier for you to vote. That's what H.R. 1 does. And it's also talking about the campaign finance part. It is working on giving more money to candidates so that they'll have a higher chance of winning. So the government will match donations of $200 plus given to candidates during their campaigns so that they can have more money to run their campaigns to win. Now, the second one is the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which basically sounds like the same thing. Yep, it says voting, campaign finance, and ethics. Same freaking stuff. So it's talking about requiring availability of internet for voter registration, use of internet to update registration information, provision of election information by electronic mail to individuals registered to vote, clarification of requirement regarding unnecessary information to show eligibility to vote, prohibiting state from requiring applicants to provide more than the last 4 digits of social security number, report on data collection, permitting voter registration application form to serve as application and effective date. Now, the thing I'm looking at sideways, prohibiting state from requiring applicants to provide more than last 4 digits of social security number. You do know that immigrants who are legally here can have a TIN. That's called a taxpayer identification number. They can acquire that and they can vote. So that's wrapped into the John Lewis Act. If I was his family, I would sue. Like, how the hell are you using my ancestor? 1 second. How the hell are you using my ancestor to push your bigoted policy? So The next section is saying a short title of automatic registration of eligible individuals. Okay, so whomever they deem eligible, like legal immigrants, would automatically be registered to vote. Contributing agency assistance and registration. One-time contributing agency assistance and registration of eligible voters in existing records. Voter protection and security and automatic registration. Registration, portability and correction. Payments and grants. Treatment of exempt states. Miscellaneous provisions. Definitions. Effective date. So, I'm going to go to section 1005. Okay? Let's see here. 1005. Hold on one second, sorry. Oh, let me see here. Okay, so I don't see. Okay, 1005. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. Okay, 1008. All right, so here we have prohibiting state from requiring applicants to provide more than last 4 digits of social security number. So it says a form included with application for motor vehicle driver's license. Section 5C2B2 of the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 is amended by striking the semicolon at the end and inserting the following. There's a quotation mark. And to the extent that the application requires the applicant to provide a social security number, may not require the applicant to provide more than the last 4 digits of such number. So that's with the DMV license. And then it says a national mail voter registration form is amended by striking the semicolon at the end and inserting the following quotation mark. And to the extent that the form requires the applicant to provide a social security number, the form may not require the applicant to provide more than the last 4 digits of such number. Then it says permitting voter registration application form to serve as application for absentee ballots. So at the option of the applicant shall serve as an application to vote by absentee ballot in the next election for federal office held in the state and each subsequent election for federal office held in the state. So then you have the automatic voter registration situation going on. So decided as a responsibility of the government at every level to ensure that all eligible citizens are registered. So when it says to establish that it is the responsibility of government at every level to ensure that all eligible citizens are registered to vote in the elections for federal office, to enable the state and federal governments to register all eligible citizens to vote with accurate, cost-efficient, and up-to-date procedures, to modernize voter registration and list maintenance procedures with electronic and internet capabilities, and to protect and enhance the integrity, accuracy, efficiency, and accessibility of the electoral process for all eligible citizens. Then you have automatic registration of eligible individuals. So the first one was saying automatic voter registration. So let's really dive into this one. It no longer says citizens anymore. It says the chief state election official of each state shall establish and operate a system of automatic registration for the registration of eligible individuals to vote for elections for federal office in the state in accordance with the provisions of this part. The term automatic registration means a system that registers an individual to vote in elections for federal office in a state if eligible by electronically transferring the information necessary for registration from government agencies to election officials of the state, so that unless the individual affirmatively declines to be registered, the individual will be registered to vote in such elections. So that is extremely problematic. It's registered to vote in election federal. So my thing is, like someone else brought up, if they're going to try to play these games and give legal immigrants the right to vote, then that needs to include prisoners as well. Let's see here. Because you really have to ask yourself, like, why are prisoners not allowed to vote? Why are they no longer considered citizens because they committed a crime? Don't we think that's excessive? You lost your citizenship because you committed a crime. Seriously? That's like saying because your child got in trouble, they're no longer part of the family until they finish doing their punishment. Then they can come back and be part of the family again. It's asinine. It's completely ridiculous. So you see how this is problematic. You see how they can slide in illegal immigrants. You see how they're getting us to basically undergird another piece of legislation that's going to essentially usher in a bunch of other people that has nothing to do with us. I stand on my square and I want reparations, and fuck the Democrats, because this is like the 5th time that they're trying to find a way to make these legal immigrants, or illegal immigrants too, into citizens, and I'm not having it on my watch. I'm just not. So let me see here. It's just, this stuff is just a complete joke. Who wrote this? Hillary? Oh gosh, who the hell is listening to Hillary Clinton? Barf. Yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm just not gonna do this. I'm absolutely not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. So this is Brennan Center for Justice. So it says, but even as restrictive voting bills advance in some states, elsewhere lawmakers are moving to increase voter participation, taking a cue from policies that were implemented temporarily to facilitate safe voting during the pandemic. State legislators have proposed more than 540 laws to make it easier for voters to cast their ballots. That is nearly triple the number at about this time last year. These bills would expand eligibility to vote by mail, increase early voting, opportunities to authorize ballot drop boxes, among other improvements to voting access. To be sure, a good portion of these pro-voter reforms have been introduced in traditionally progressive states like New York, New Jersey, and yes, Washington. But a significant number are in states with histories of voter suppression, including Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas. So momentum continues nationwide in support of restoring voting rights to individuals with past convictions. So that's great. Last year, Iowa ended its categorical lifetime ban. Ugh, are you fucking kidding me? That is so egregious. How in the hell do you have someone like they can't vote for life? That's insanity. This shit is unreal. That's so unconstitutional. If I've never seen a better example, like that is a glaring example of an abuse of your constitutional rights. This is last year Iowa ended its categorical lifetime ban on voting for those. So this is why I need to go back to law school. I need to go to law school. I'm saying go back, but I have to go back to school. I mean, like not back to law school. I wasn't in law school, but I have to go back to school to go to law school, because this is BS. I'm not one to I don't like feeling helpless. That's not my MO. Like, I like to feel like I can get something done, and yeah, and I really don't want to take on that debt, so I had to get creative about it, but no. I think I'm just going to have to become an apprentice, do an apprenticeship or something, and self-study, because I ain't trying to deal with all that student loan debt either. But I need to become an attorney, because this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Like, what? Like, Iowa is doing whatever they want. This is illegal. And if it isn't illegal, it should be. And so now, what do they want, a cookie because they finally ended this lifetime ban? Like, do you know how many people we probably lost who doesn't get to vote as a black person for black interests? Like, that's just, it makes me so, burns me up. So it says, it was the last state in the nation with such a draconian policy. And that just ended last year. And this was written, oh my gosh, I am like, whoa. This was written in 2021. But they want us to come out and save the nation. No, I'm not doing shit. Fix this crap. Hell, put it in our reparations bill and get this shit taken care of through that. Then I'll come out and vote for you. Because they're like, oh, well, you won't even be able to vote for reparations bill if you don't vote. You better put that shit on the same damn ballot. If you want my vote, put that reparations right up on there too. Okay, so... Alright, so let me keep going. We have... Yeah, this is pretty gross. This is disgusting. So it says, this year, 19 states have introduced bills to restore voting rights or ease felony disenfranchisement policies. That includes Washington House Bill 1078 and the Senate Bill 5086, a pair of companion bills to restore voting rights to individuals when they return to their communities. So I need to know, like, if you're doing it at state level, will that allow you to have voting rights federally as well to vote for president of the United States? Something I might have to look at really quickly. So here we have the bill restoring voter eligibility for all persons convicted of a felony offense who are not in total confinement under the jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections. This is a House bill from Washington State. And what I wanted to know was, does this allow people to vote federal level, even though it's a state bill? Let's see. Did it pass? Okay, pre-filed. Did not pass. Majority do pass. Minority do not pass. Pass to Rules Committee for second reading. Placed on second. Held on rules suspended. Placed on third reading. Past years 27. Past yeas 27. 22 absent 0. Excuse 0. Wait, so this went into effect. View bill is passed legislature because it's the speaker signed in the House and president signed March 29th. It delivered to the governor. Governor signed Chapter 10, 2021 laws. Effective date 1/1/2022. Okay, this is good news, guys. So I'm going to do a whole nother video on HB 1078, and we're going to go through all the states that have passed legislation to make it easier for us to vote, because I really don't want black people to get confused by what is going on and thinking that they have to vote for their voting rights. You already have voting rights, black people. All you're doing is helping them to shoehorn in more voting access to legal and illegal immigrants. Do not fall for the grift. Do not fall for the trick brag. Stop feeling like you're the ones that have to save this country when this country does not do what they're supposed to do for us. Demand that they put reparations on that ballot, and then we'll vote for you. Otherwise, I'm voting Republican because I'm not going to stay home, and I'm not going to vote Democrat. So you guys, let me know what you think about this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.